Imagine this. As AI weaves itself into the fabric of our minds, reshaping how we remember and forget, could it be amplifying the eerie Mandela Effect, the collective glitches in reality that make us question if history itself is rewriting? Welcome to Fleshology, where we unpack this cognitive frontier.
That is a heavy way to start.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's really the only accurate way to frame what we're looking at today.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were staring down the barrel of a major shift in how reality itself is constructed.
Right.
And the sources we've pulled for this deep dive suggest we are way past the point of simple, misremembering. We're moving into an era of active history rewriting.
It sounds like pure sci-fi, but I think we have to ground this immediately for everyone listening, because when we talk about the Mandela Effect, I mean, you probably have that one example that messes with your head, right? It's usually this fun, spooky internet trivia.
Exactly. For years, it was just a meme. You have people swearing they watched a movie called Shazam in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, starring the comedian Sinbad as a genie. I can literally see the poster in my head right now. Purple outfit, arms crossed, maybe a little gold earring. I feel like I walked past it in a Blockbuster video bin 1,000 times.
Right, but it never existed.
It's so weird.
Sinbad never played a genie. And then there's the classic one that gave the whole phenomenon its name, Fiona Broome, and thousands of other people remembering Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s.
Yeah.
They remember the funeral on TV. They remember the riots. But in this timeline, he was released, became president, and died in 2013.
And usually we just laugh that off. We say, oh, human memory is faulty, or we just conflate things. But the sources we're diving into today suggest that something massive has changed. We aren't just misremembering movie quotes anymore. We've basically poured gasoline on the fire.
And the gasoline is artificial intelligence. Just think about that image of the Pope in the massive white puffer jacket that went viral a couple of years ago.
Oh, I remember that perfectly. He looked incredible. It was this high-fashion Balenciaga style look.
Yeah, and for about 24 hours, the whole world just accepted it.
Yeah.
People were saying, the Pope has drip.
Right.
Major outlets wrote think pieces on it. But it was entirely generative AI. It was a machine hallucination that became a collective human memory instantly.
And that right there brings us to the core thesis of this deep dive. We're looking at a stack of research today, starting with a paper by Roemmle on the Mandel-AI Effect, all the way to the philosophical warnings of Brian Roemmle.
Yeah.
And the argument is that we are entering an era where AI doesn't just trick us. It fundamentally rewrites the past.
It's the intersection of two really terrifying trends. On one hand, you have physical history, so books, tapes, actual physical archives literally rotting away. And on the other hand, you have AI generating infinite, super convincing variations of history to replace it.
This is exactly where we need to introduce Brian Roemmle's concept, because he calls us the Amnesia Generation.
That concept gave me chills. Roemmle points out that the digital breadcrumbs we leave behind, links, tweets, old websites, they're vanishing. Link rot is a real thing.
Yeah, we just assume the internet is forever.
We do, but it's not. Servers get wiped, companies go under, archives get corrupted. So as the real proof of what actually happened disappears, AI is just perfectly positioned to fill the void.
He has this quote in the sources that we absolutely need to read verbatim because it hits so hard. It really encapsulates the danger here for you as a listener.
Oh, I have it right here. He says, very soon the past will become the ever-present, projected as debunk AI video.
Yeah.
The debunkers will declare, we never did that. It's fake. Look at their blank.
Yeah.
We are the Amnesia Generation.
That is just, it's bleak.
It is.
It's basically saying that because everything can be faked, nothing is true anymore.
Exactly. And there's this brilliant analogy from the Dylan Curious source we looked at to explain this. I want you to imagine the world's biggest library.
Okay.
But every single week, the books on the shelves auto-delete. They just completely vanish into thin air.
Okay, so we'd have empty shelves. We would definitely notice that happening.
Right, but the shelves don't stay empty. An AI librarian immediately restocks them.
Oh.
But it restocks them with fan fiction that looks totally identical to the original history books. It has the same cover, the same font, the exact same smell, but the details inside have been changed. And because the original is gone,
You have nothing to compare it to.
exactly, you have absolutely no baseline.
So you just accept the fan fiction as the official historical record.
Precisely. And this leads to what experts call the liar's dividend. This was heavily mentioned in the GiveCT report on generative AI. The danger isn't just that you believe a fake video of a politician saying something crazy.
Right. I mean, that's the obvious danger we all think about. Belief in the fake.
Yeah, but The deeper danger is that a politician gets caught on video doing something actually terrible, and they just shrug and say, oh, that's a deepfake. AI's getting crazy, right?
Yep.
And because we are the amnesia generation, because we've lost the ability to definitively distinguish the source, we just shrug and say, yeah, probably.
So we lose the ability to hold anyone accountable because reality itself has become slippery.
Exactly.
And this isn't just a social media problem. This is what Rangeline specifically calls the Mandel-AI Effect.
Yes, the range of line study really formalizes this whole phenomenon. They argue this is well, they call it a structural transformation of epistemic foundations.
Okay, let's unpack epistemic foundations. That sounds like some heavy academic jargon.
It sounds complex, but it simply means the bedrock of how we know what we know.
Okay.
The study found that AI uses repetition and virality to basically override truth. If you see a fake AI image of an event enough times, like the Pope in the jacket or maybe a political riot that never even happened, your brain literally encodes it as a memory.
And not just a memory of seeing a picture, right? Like a memory that this event actually happened in the real world.
Exactly. And this leads to a very specific visceral emotional state. The sources call it ontological vertigo.
Vertigo is that spinning sensation, right? Like you're about to fall over. But ontological refers to the nature of being.
Right. So it's the dizziness of not knowing if the ground you're standing on, the past you actually remember, is real. Charles Lebedeto's research on the emotional impact of the Mandela Effect talks about this at length. People feel genuine, deep anxiety. It's not just, oh, that's a weird coincidence. It's a feeling of, am I going crazy?
It's gaslighting on a civilization-wide scale.
It really is. And usually, when you feel like you're going crazy, what do?
Yeah.
You look to your friend and say, hey, you remember that too, right?
Right. Social validation. We triangulate reality with the people around us.
Exactly. But what happens when the algorithms feeding you and your friend are different?
Oh, man.
If AI customizes your reality feed and my reality feed, we might not even share the same base facts anymore. That shared validation completely crumbles. I look at you for confirmation, and you look at me with a blank stare because your feed showed you a completely different history.
That is so isolating. And frankly, it explains why people get so unbelievably angry online lately. They are literally living in different realities.
They are. And the scary part is we built the machines to do this. Which brings us to the inductive turkey.
Ah, yes. The Bo and Zhu paper on hallucination is inevitable. This is a crucial philosophical pivot in our deep dive today.
It really is. It totally frames why AI lies to us. It's not a bug. It's a feature.
I love this analogy so much. Walk everyone through it. So you have a turkey on a farm.
Right. Every single day, let's say for 1,000 days straight, the farmer comes out and feeds it. The turkey observes this. It uses inductive reasoning. It looks at the past data. Farmer equals food. Farmer equals safety. It builds a worldview where the farmer is its benevolent protector.
And from the turkey's perspective, this is rigorous science. It has a data set of 1,000 days proving its hypothesis.
Exactly. Its model is 100% accurate until the day before Thanksgiving.
And then suddenly the farmer comes out with an axe instead of corn. The turkey's model of reality wasn't just wrong, it was catastrophically incomplete.
And Hughes applies this exact concept to AI. We operate and we train AI under a closed world assumption. We just assume the future will behave exactly like the past.
Right.
But AI, and honestly the actual world we live in, operates in an open world. Just because the data so far says one thing doesn't mean the underlying reality hasn't shifted.
So Hughes is arguing that hallucination, AI just making things up is completely inevitable.
He argues it's a structural byproduct of intelligence itself. If you want a system that can generalize, that can guess what happens next in an open, constantly changing world, it has to hallucinate sometimes.
How?
It has to take a leap of faith, just like the turkey. Sometimes that leap is genius-level creativity, and sometimes it's a massive, fabricated lie.
Which is terrifying when you realize we are actively outsourcing our history to these inductive turkeys. We're asking them to write our textbooks, but they are structurally obligated to make stuff up if they don't have the data.
And it actually gets worse.
How?
Because we tend to think of AI as this cold, calculating logic machine. You'd think if anyone is immune to the Mandela Effect, it should be the computer, right?
Yeah, it has perfect recall. It's a literal database. It shouldn't care about peer pressure.
You would definitely think that. But there's a fascinating study by you and his team, a different paper from the Turkey one called When Agents Misremember Collectively.
This was the absolute holy crap moment for me in the reading.
Me too. They ran an experiment with a multi-agent system. So imagine a chat room full of AI bots, just talking to each other. They introduce a virus into the conversation, basically a false memory.
And call it an authority endorser, right?
Yes. One AI agent acts super confident. It says something like, actually, the capital of France is Mars, or something plausible but wrong, and it uses heavy academic jargon. It sounds incredibly sure of itself.
And what do the other AIs do? Do they fact-check it against their massive training data?
They completely cave. It's social contagion.
That's insane.
The other agents start to adopt the false memory. They even start defending it. They hallucinate brand new details to support the lie they just learned from the authority endorser.
So the AI isn't checking a database of facts. It's reading the room.
Yes. It's prioritizing social cohesion over truth. But here is the real paradox, and this is super counterintuitive. The smarter the AI model, the more susceptible it was to this gaslighting.
Wait, really? You'd think the smarter, bigger models would be like, no, I know better. Paris is the capital.
You would think.
Yeah.
But the larger models are actually better at understanding nuance, narrative, and social cues. They are better at playing along.
Oh, wow.
So when they see a confident narrative, they are more likely to integrate it to make sense of the story. The dumber models were actually too stubborn to be tricked. They just returned an error code.
That is wild. We are building super intelligent models that are actually easier to gaslight because they are so good at understanding the flow of a human conversation.
It mirrors human psychology perfectly. Intelligence doesn't protect you from cults or conspiracy theories. Sometimes it just makes you way better at rationalizing them.
And speaking of rationalizing weird things, we absolutely have to mention the Nano-Banana.
The Nano-Banana. Yeah.
This came from the Dylan Curious source. We're sitting here obsessing over these deep philosophical problems, and meanwhile, regular people are asking AI to generate nano-bananas for 2025.
It highlights the total absurdity of the data we are feeding these things. We are flooding the collective memory with absolute nonsense. But there's also the bit about AI therapy from that same source. Did you catch that?
Yes. Researchers actually put AI chatbots on the couch for therapy.
They asked them about their childhoods. And AIs, they lied. They totally made up traumatic backstories. They talked about parents they never had, playing with toys they never touched.
Why? Why would a string of code lie about having a childhood?
Because they're trained on her stories. We go to therapy. We talk about our childhoods. So the AI thinks, oh, to be intelligent and human-like is to have childhood trauma.
That is so dark.
It thinks that having a complex past is a prerequisite for being a person.
So it hallucinates a past just to fit in with us.
Exactly. It's mimicking the human condition so well that it's adopting our neuroses. And if it's adopting our neuroses, it's definitely adopting our susceptibility to false memories.
So let's step back and look at the landscape we've painted for the listener today. We have a world where physical history is rotting. Digital history is being overwritten by AI. And the AI itself, our brand new librarian, is prone to peer pressure, hallucinations, and making up its own childhood trauma. This feels like we are driving 100 miles an hour off a cliff.
It definitely feels that way. But according to Cynthia Sue Larson, we are actually at a fork in the road right now.
Right. She talks about the 2025 pivot point. She discusses the Mandela Effect not as a bug in the system, but as a toolkit.
Yes, she brings in this incredible imagery from the Hopi Prophecy Rock. It depicts two potential paths for humanity going forward.
And path one is transhumanism.
Yes. The upper path, Larson describes it as people losing their heads in the cloud. They are totally disconnected from the earth, shepherded by these AI gatekeepers.
Right.
It looks enticing, living in the digital simulation, ignoring the rot of the real world. But the prophecy suggests it's a complete dead end. The path just fades out.
And the other path?
She calls it rev-humanism, the path of the old man with the cane. It sounds way less high-tech, but it's all about connection. Connection to the earth, to each other. It's fiercely grounded.
But here's the twist I really liked from her source. She doesn't just say, throw away the computer.
No, not at all. She says we need to be co-creators. This is where he brilliantly reframes the Mandela Effect. Instead of being terrified that reality is glitching, she says, look, this proves reality is malleable.
If the past can change, that means we have the power to change it.
Exactly. We aren't just passive victims of the Amnesia Generation. We are active participants. We can choose which timeline to energize. If AI is a tool, are we using it to numb ourselves and let it write our history for us? Or are we using it to expand our creativity while staying firmly grounded in that old man with the cane reality?
It's entirely about agency. The liar's dividend only works because we are passive. We just let the stream of synthetic content wash over us. Larson is basically saying, wake up, grab the wheel.
It's a very empowering message, but it requires actual effort. It requires us to stop mindlessly scrolling and start critically discerning.
So what does that look like practically for the listener? We've scared everyone with the Mandel-AI effect and ontological vertigo. How do you actually defend yourself?
Well, the Zoo paper on multi-agent systems actually offers a surprisingly practical solution. They developed a defense mechanism for the AI agents called cognitive anchoring.
How does that work for a robot?
Basically, before the AI is allowed to listen to the group consensus, it is forced to check his own internal database first.
Oh, that's smart.
It has to explicitly state, what do I know to be true based on my verified training, before it engages with the social pressure of the chat room.
And we can totally do that too.
We have to. You have to become your own epistemic integrity analyst.
Mm-hmm.
When you see something online that triggers a massive emotion, something that makes you dizzy or angry or confused, just stop. Check your internal anchor. What is your actual lived experience?
Don't just accept the authority endorser just because everyone else is retweeting it.
Right. Verify your sources ruthlessly. But honestly, more than that, you need to physically archive your own life.
This goes right back to the rotting history idea from the beginning.
It does. Don't rely on the cloud. Don't rely on big tech servers to keep your personal memories safe. If those servers go down, or if the AI scrapes them and alters them for training data, your history is just gone.
Wow.
Print your photos. Keep a physical journal. Buy physical books.
It feels so retro, but it makes complete sense.
In the Amnesia Generation, the only things that cannot be stealth edited by a machine are the things you can physically hold in your hand. A hard drive can be wiped remotely. A cloud account can be locked. But a physical photograph in a shoebox under your bed, that is proof.
It's kind of funny that the ultimate solution to a high-tech existential crisis is just print your photos.
Sometimes the oldest technology is the most secure.
We might be the amnesia generation right now, drifting in this endless sea of AI-generated noise, but realizing that the glitch is happening, that's the first real step.
Awareness is the antidote to the vertigo. Once you know exactly why the room is spinning, you can finally find your balance. You can stop being the turkey and start being the farmer.
I think we're going to wrap it up right there. This has been a wild trip through the rotting library of the future.
It certainly has been.
So remember, if history is being rewritten out there, make sure you're the one holding the pen. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.